What's up, people? It's your boy Sly. In this video, I'm going to talk about Nicholas Cruz. You see, Nicholas Cruz is a 19-year-old who allegedly killed 17 people at a high school. Okay? Apparently, this guy I think he was expelled from the same school, right? He was expelled for violence, for making threats, and some other stuff. So apparently he went back to the school. He pulled the fire alarm and started to shoot at people. Now he's in custody. The thing is, in studies, so the sources have said that he has suffered from loneliness and depression, and nobody saw any warning signs in his behavior. And the thing is this. Let me tell you why this shit's happening. This stuff is happening. All these mass murders going on. In this guy's case, let me speak on why his case first. This mass shooting, what he did, was pretty much due to loneliness and not being able to fit in society. Okay, see, this guy was a loner. Okay, he couldn't make any friends. He couldn't find anyone that would hang out with him. He couldn't get what he wanted. Right? He couldn't get attention. And he ended up taking out his anger and frustration out on innocent people just so that people would acknowledge him. See, among other countries, right, you don't ever see mass shootings where an individual will go and kill random people. You don't see that shit. You don't see it. You don't see people killing random people just because they want to. See, most people in other countries, if they ever committed a crime when it comes to murder or anything like that, it's usually because that person pissed them off. Okay? Usually. A group of people pissed them off. Okay, I'm not talking about like the Middle East and all that shit. That's totally different from what I'm talking about here. So don't bring that stuff and don't bring that shit into this conversation. I'm not talking about the Middle East where the suicide bomb. I'm not discussing that. I'm talking about mass shootings. Okay, that's what I'm talking about right here. And for some reason, in America is the society where people have this behavior where they can do what they want. You know? See, this kid who did this wanted attention. Because he was pretty much captured with no incident. He wasn't he wasn't taken down by force. Police were able to arrest him and bring him into custody. And the whole thing sounds kind of like strange to me. Because this dude killed 17 people. 17 people. But he was managed to be captured without incident. You see, I've told you guys this shit before in the past, right? America is this society we live in today where there's so much loneliness. A lot of people in America are lonely as hell. People are lonely. People today are antisocial. Some people cannot make friends, so they end up doing stupid shit like this. You know? And this is one thing we have to understand, like, America is a very antisocial society. Making friends here is not easy. People go crazy. Okay? There are so many stories about this. I mean, there are stories where men have killed their ex-girlfriends because their ex-girlfriend dumped them. Okay? In many cases, it's not because the girl dumped him that he goes crazy. It's due to the fact that he can't find nobody else. That's the truth. Even with women, it's the exact same thing with women. Some women end up killing their ex-boyfriends because nobody else wants to be with them. And they feel if my boyfriend leaves me, no one else is going to be with me. Let me give an example. Jodi Arias. Jodi Arias had her ex-boyfriend. Is it Travis Alexander? That's his name. And, you know, she thought about the future. She thought about having kids with him and being married to him. But the whole time, he was planning to leave her, which he did. And he had himself another girlfriend. And this woman went crazy. She went crazy because she felt like she can't find anybody else. So it's one of those things where it's like a lot of people today are just going nuts. People go crazy for affection. They go crazy for love. They go crazy for all this stuff. You know? You know, there are so many stories where I can go into this when it comes to like people killing each other over isolation. People don't understand when I say this. Only in America I have seen this shit in high numbers where men or women will go angry and they get upset because somebody does not want to be with them. There are so many Americans today who are suffering from loneliness. Loneliness is not a joke. Loneliness is not a joke. People think it's a joke out here. Oh, you're lonely. No, that shit's fucking real. That shit can mess up your mind. A lot of people don't understand the importance of having friends, or people don't understand the importance of having people close to you. When you have positive people in your corner, your life becomes way easier. Okay? People need to understand that America is a very lonely society. Okay? It's a very lonely society. We are becoming a society where people keep, let me backtrack. People say, oh, they're mentally ill, he's mentally, no, this shooter, Nicholas Cruz, to my opinion, he is not mentally insane because he knew what the fuck he was doing. He knew what he was doing. Mental illness is when people do not know what they're doing. Okay? You cannot comprehend. People in America are going crazy because they have no one that will talk to them. They can't find people that will spend time with them. Okay? That's why I tell people all the time, like, living in America today is just not beneficial for me, if not other people. There's so many people out here who have complained that they had no social life, that they can't find a girlfriend. Some of them have traveled abroad to different countries, and those problems left their minds immediately. They never had an issue of that shit ever again. Okay? I'm not telling people to leave America. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, understand your environment. Understand your environment. There are so many lonely people today, it leads to strange behaviors. Like there was a story that happened in the news that I read where there was a lady. She called 911 saying that she was tied up in her, I think in her house, somewhere in her house, somewhere in her house. She was tied up. She called the police. The police came to her. The police came to her. You know, of course, they rescued her and shit. The more questions they asked her, they discovered she tied herself up and called the police. Now, ask yourself this question. Why would someone tie themselves up and call the police? To my personal opinion, she wanted attention. If you can't get positive attention, you'll look for a negative attention. As long as you get the attention you want, that's all that matters to some people. America is a very strange society we live in today. And if people want to keep on living in this bubble and this matrix where everything is all good, fine, go do it. Okay? But you're going to see a lot more strange behaviors. You're going to see a lot more violence. You're going to see a lot more crazy shit going on because people in America do not know how to interact with each other no more. When you look at other cultures and other societies, they are taught to make friends. Many people know their neighbors. Many people know how to get things done. People know how to interact. They know how to have a good time. Americans don't know how to have a good time with each other. It's just bullshit. Many people here pretend to be happy, but they're really miserable. And now this guy, this Nicholas dude is going to spend the rest of his life in prison. But in his own mind, he thinks he's probably justified. That's the scary part. But this is America we live in today. This is America. This is what we live in today. A crazy society. People are so isolated that they can't even hide it no more. And due to human isolation, you're going to see a lot more violence. You're going to see a lot more creeps. You're going to see a lot more crazy shit. Let me know what you think. Peace.